So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186. Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. We know that navigating the legal system is stressful and overwhelming, but Liberty Law Group will carry that burden for you. When you're facing legal issues, make the right call. 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into the Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos, as always, on a cloudy Tuesday night. If you guys want to join in, use the Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. We got the Royals on the brick and mortar, so use the streams if you want to join in. That's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, Allo, Channel 96. Good morning, Pierson-El. How's it going on this Tuesday night?
It's going. It's a little gloomy, but no power outages. We good.
Hey, no power outages. Week 0 is right around the corner. We're going to talk about those week 0 games. We're going to talk about the spreads. Nothing too crazy. Maybe Florida State. We'll dive into that. We also got the single digits finally handed out all the way. A lot of defense. Maybe no surprises there. As well as we're going to talk about some of these former Husker QBs. And I think that's where we should start things off. And then we'll get into the single digits. Neither of the former QBs, and Chubba Purdy or Jeff Sims, were able to find a spot with Chubba Purdy down in Nevada. And, of course, Jeff Sims, he transfers over to Arizona State. Surprised at all to see neither of those guys being able to go ahead and win the starting spot, and to give Purdy a little bit of, somewhat of an excuse to scapegoat, fought through injuries, and that probably was a big part of it, why they chose to go with last year's starter for Purdy's case.
I mean, regardless of what it is and whatnot, I mean, he was healthy enough to compete for the spot, and he wasn't good enough to secure the spot. So, for whatever reason, he wasn't chosen. I'm not going to say, oh, because of the injuries and whatnot, you left. You were healthy enough to play. You were healthy enough to compete it, and you lost. I mean, so I'm not sure exactly what what was the reasons, but I mean, clearly the guy who's in competition with played better than he is, and they're doing what's best for the team.
Yeah, and then with Jeff Sims' case at Arizona State, what do you think the idea of what this offense was trying to be was Jeff Sims? That's still something
last year us.
Yeah, I tried to figure out like what was the idea to begin with when we brought Jeff Sims in. Maybe they just were really dialed in on having an explosive running game, and they could use Jeff Sims as a force with that. But at the same time, the way he just had no passing game certainly do any favors in the run game, simply for the fact they could just load the box on us. What do you think the offense was supposed to be?
I think the offense was supposed to be more so of running. They were going to be they were trying their best to get into short yardage, and if your running back couldn't necessarily do it, you had a quarterback with a read option or that could beat teams with his feet and whatnot. So they were probably trying to play it safe, and it just never really blossomed. He was very one-dimensional. He wasn't consistent enough to at least make teams respect certain quick passes, quick game. I mean, you've been a college quarterback at this level for a few years. You should be at least able to effectively do that. So I think they were just more so if things weren't explosive down the field and whatnot, if it's 3rd and 5 or 3rd and short, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, we got a running back that could at least get 3 yards a pop, and you can run a read option with a quarterback, and a quarterback can get things with his legs, but he just wasn't consistent elsewhere.
Yeah, and you saw it a few times early. The best plays with Jeff Sims that you think about, I think it was Minnesota. He had a long run. Might even been Colorado, the one I'm thinking of.
Colorado, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely Colorado. Now I remember it. On the right side, he runs up, and he was at times a really good playmaker, fun to watch. But at the same time, like you said, as teams caught on, they were just loading up the box. They weren't.
That I think last year they kind of knew coming in not to expect a whole lot, or we're still coming in just figuring out who can do what and whatnot. Running the clock out. I think controlling the clock. At least if you can put up some type of points. The defense wasn't going to put them in danger, but it was kind of that Wisconsin style type football, I think, is what they were trying to aim for, to where pretty much the whole game we're on offense, or majority of the time possession you're on offense, you're running the clock out. Your opposing team, as long as you don't turn the ball over or anything like that, you would run out the clock with the opposing team maybe getting the ball 2, maybe 3 times a quarter, maybe I think is what they were trying to get to. But I mean, we see how that went.
Yeah, it went awful. We don't have to sugarcoat it, and it's a little telling too that I never want to root against the guys who used to play here. Hopefully Jeff Sims, Purdy eventually at some point can get a shot where things work out the way they're supposed to, quote unquote. But it is a little bit telling that maybe we're okay already kind of starting this next group of development, considering the guys that we had in the room last year weren't even able to go ahead and grab those starting spots out in Arizona State or Nevada. So again, maybe it was more about what we were doing, trying to set them up. But I think the Jeff Sims, in my opinion, was we just were trying to do anything we could to have a dynamic playmaker. And with Jeff Sims, if he wasn't turning the ball over, I mean, we would see a few more flashes, highlights where he's going to go off for big runs, but it just got to the point where you didn't trust him out there at all. So those plays got.
I mean, his confidence was shot.
Yeah.
The fans were ripping him a new one.
Yeah.
He was probably, one of the more hated, people in Nebraska, probably just because, people was fed up with stuff. So Like I said, his confidence was gone, and you can kind of see that in his plan. He wasn't confident with simple stuff. I mean, every
screen passes. I mean, we couldn't get off a screen pass.
You would be happy if he caught the ball in shotgun.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm serious. Do you understand? Like that is sad. If you're happy, oh, okay, he caught this one. So I mean, it was just a lot that he endured, and it wasn't good for him at all.
Yeah, that's my point. It's a lot he endured. Hopefully he's all right after it. Hopefully that's not, part of the reason where the confidence just got shot to the point where Arizona State still wasn't there. Obviously, we don't know the full story. It could just be that Sam Leavitt is looking that much better, which, Sam Leavitt, he's shown some things in the past, so maybe it's a close quarterback battle. But that's pretty much it for the former Nebraska QBs. Neither of them able to find a starting spot. Thought it was interesting, especially since we kind of just depleted that entire room outside of Harburg, that even though the room is depleted, we got a bunch of new guys. The guys that left aren't really having much success at those new schools. So with that out of the way, let's talk about these single digits. All defense outside of one guy, the transfer, the wide receiver, Jamal Banks. I don't think that's too surprising. If you look at the stats, we've mentioned it before at Wake Forest over in the ACC, he was flat out dominant in high school, dominant in college, and then hopefully it continues at his second college stop at Nebraska. But zero, you got Nash. A lot of these, the guys from last year on that defensive side of the ball didn't lose it. So you only got a few new additions in here. But from last year, you do got Nash. You got number 1, Jamari Butler, 2, Isaac Gifford, 3, Marquise Buford, 4, Jamal Banks. Again, the only offensive player on those single digits. Then 5, John Bullock, 6, Tommy Hill, 7, Malcolm Hartzog, 8, Deshaun Singleton, 9, Ty Robinson. Out of the single digits, anything surprise you?
No, I mean more so the offensive guy, just because on the offensive side, we necessarily haven't really been hearing too much about any other position than honestly the quarterback position. And so I mean it's been overshadowed or whatnot. So for him to come out and make that splash is actually pretty good and surprising. And I'm pretty sure he'll probably be, one of those starter guys out there.
Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out Jamal Banks' high school stats for everybody, just to illustrate why this might not be super surprising for everybody who's out there watching him. Because I only give you his Wake Forest stats. But again, last year for Wake Forest, he did finish 59 receptions, 653 yards, averaging over 11 yards per reception, 4 touchdowns, even a carry with 7 yards. And he led the team, again, with 653 yards and receptions with about 5, and was tied for first in touchdowns with 4. And again, finished in the ACC in receptions per game. So he's got all the stats leading Wake Forest. Do you expect this to transfer pretty cleanly over to Nebraska, that he can be that A1 receiver, especially for a young quarterback in Dylan Raiola, that he's going to be able to find Jamal Banks more often than not?
It can go like that, just depending on the development of, the quarterback and what the offensive coordinator, wants to do with things or whatnot. Clearly we know Satterfield likes to, air things out. So there's that you have going and whatnot. The ACC is a little bit of different league. They probably have, more prolific and profound, offenses or quarterbacks that, throw the ball. Can it translate? Absolutely. Is there opportunity for things to take off and whatnot? Yes. But again, it just depends on, are you going to be a balanced offense? Are you going to be, 60-40 one way? Or one of those things. So I mean, it could happen. It just depends on the progression and how fast they want to push things from the quarterback position with letting things go downfield or quick screens or it just depends on once the quarterback gets comfortable, what will we see or what will be allowed.
Yeah, I got high hopes. I think that's the fact that he's the only one out there, to hear all the good things we heard about him out of Wake Forest. And again, as I continue to try to find the high school stats, you get him bits and pieces you can find those, check him out. I mean, the guy was an absolute monster in high school, was highly recruited for a reason, continued at Wake Forest, and then to see him immediately heading over into his senior year as a transfer to get that single digit tells me that he's clicking pretty quickly and that he is everything that he's living up to be, that he's going to be able to be one of the best, if not the best receiver for the Huskers heading into this year. He's got the size, 6'4". We've kind of talked about the red zone, not only with the tight ends, but just having some receivers that can make a quick move, even if it's a slant. I don't care what it is. Somebody just get open in that red zone.
Yeah. It's a lot of surface area to hit, his wingspan and, his catch radius is a lot different than, some of these other, guys on the team or whatnot. So, again, you got one-on-one outside. It's a bigger target, just throw it up. And, I mean, they're Division I athletes for a reason. So, I mean, you got to make a play.
Yeah, and again, to give a little bit of a scapegoat to the quarterbacks of last year, there's times in the red zone. Now, A, get the snap. Let's fix that. A lot of people would be happy. But B, even if they were to get the snap at times, especially when it got into that red zone when defenses are a little more packed, there really wasn't people open. Like, more often than not, the best play was maybe a Harburg scramble to try to go ahead and pick up just some yards where he sees the green grass. So hopefully this year, again, I think the addition of Isaiah Nayor and Jamal Banks can't be understated. It's good to see Lloyd. I'd imagine he's going to be a serious threat. I mean, we saw glimpses of it last year. Who knows how fast Carter Nelson can click with this team? And when it comes to Carter Nelson, is this just about him getting the playbook? And how long does that take for a freshman? Because when you kind of hear he doesn't know the playbook yet, to me, that just kind of sounds like he's pretty raw, where he's an athlete, but he really doesn't quite understand football at the college level yet.
It depends if it's more so of a West Coast long verbiage, more so than spread. Typically, with a spread offense, you got sign or signals or a number digit to kind of help you through the process of, you might not have to remember the whole thing or whatnot.
Right.
If it's what,
then that triggers your section of the play.
Exactly. Versus if it's a pro style West Coast offense, the verbiage is long and it does take a little while. Just because if he's playing a tight end position. With a tight end position, you'll have to listen to the protection part, and not only the protection part. Okay, now I got to listen to what's the routes, what's the strength? Am I to the strength? Am I away from the strength? And then what's the call? So with his versatility, and if you put him at the tight end position, again, if it's the West Coast, it can take you a while to understand it, because if you're used to being maybe the Y tight end to where you go with the strength, or if you're the H tight end or F tight end, you go away from it and whatnot, or they moving you out to wide receiver. Now when you hear it, the tight end part triggers you. So it just takes some time for stuff to get in. Most freshmen have struggle with it. My freshman year, I struggled with it. But the good news out of the bad is once you start game planning for stuff and everything like that, it shrinks the playbook. You're not in, camp no more. So once you get more comfortable, you'll know, the sets, you'll know the calls, you'll know the specific plays that you're in and whatnot. So you can expect things to start getting, a lot easier, a lot shorter, to where he'll kind of pick up, his niche for things. But that's not uncommon for people to, freshmen to not get the playbook, early or whatnot. So it's a change, especially coming from 8-man football. I don't even want to know what those calls were like. It may be just wing T type stuff, so it's a different world, and you got to grow up fast.
Yeah, sorry, Hammond text line. You can help us out on the 8-man style game if you're ever in that system. Because back at Morris Farmore High School, we were at 11-man, and the shift to the public school right across the street hit 8-man, and we'd play on the same field. Different ball game, a lot more points, a lot more offense, and 8-man football. So I'd imagine it takes a while to translate. Do you think he can make an impact? Year one, Carter Nelson.
In the right situation, yes. If he has the confidence to go out there and he's not thinking. That's the biggest thing with, freshman athletes coming in and playing. One, you have to be confident. Mess ups are going to happen. That's fine and dandy, but don't let your confidence kind of leave your game too. Just understanding, your role and your part. Like, when it is time to do whatever you need to do, that takes place. He's an absolute baller. We know this. Mm-hmm. He's shown flashes. The coach has said, he's shown flashes and everything like that. For him, it's more so just putting things together, take out the thinking and just playing fast. So the quicker he can do that, and this year or this past couple of years, you can play in 3 or 4 games. I wish, so you can kind of see that, and if things take off, okay, yeah, we'll let him roll for the whole season, and if not, that's fine. And then you got to go in the fridge for a year or 2 and come back bigger, faster, stronger, way more smarter, and ready to dominate the next year.
Yeah, it's gonna be curious to watch his development. Because he looks like a grown man already. The development that he's hit, and what he deserves some credit for, is he finished spring in Ainsworth. He didn't, like a lot of the other guys, and I go either or. I think it's great for people who want to stick around their high school and finish out the year. Because obviously he was a good track athlete for Ainsworth as well. But despite that, when he got to the lab, when he did get down to Lincoln, you can already tell he's made an adjustment on how he's taking care of his body or whatever meal plan they got him on. He's putting on some muscle already. So you put him in the fridge, like you said, another year. You don't have to rush him out there. We'll see what UTEP is. Hopefully it is a game where you can take some risk, let some of these players get their legs wet a little bit. But if he's going to be an impact, I won't be too surprised as we kind of wrap up on the wide receivers. Now, we got to talk about the defense. We have to throw it to break first. But as we talked about those single digits, it's the entire defensive, that front 7, and then that back end as well. Just about everybody on that starting defense is a single digit, which kind of adds to the fact that Matt Rule continues to say that this is going to be a defensive-led team still in year 2. So that being said, we'll go to break. And on the other side, we'll go ahead, dive into it. We'll talk about the defensive side of the ball, those single-digit leaders. So don't go anywhere. Don't Punt Hour. DeMornay Pierson-El, the host as always. We'll talk to you guys in just a little bit.
Stevens & Smith Construction is a full-service, employee-owned concrete company that specializes in residential and commercial foundations and flat work. They've been a leader in the concrete industry since 1971, with nearly 250 employees combining for more than 2,000 years of service. With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, and Kansas City, they're united in quality, integrity, and professionalism to create excellence in construction. Learn more today at stevensandsmith.com.
Announcing Acres' end of summer sales event. Acres has dropped its prices on select late model John Deere tractors, combines, and corn heads. Act now and upgrade your equipment before harvest season. Trade in your old equipment today and get unbelievable discounts that could save you over $100,000. With great financing options and our A-plus support, there's no better time to buy. Visit your local Acres store or see the huge savings at acres.com. That's AKRS.com to see the best prices in the nation.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation right now at appliedconnective.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186. Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. We know that navigating the legal system is stressful and overwhelming, but Liberty Law Group will carry that burden for you. When you're facing legal issues, make the right call. 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in segment 2 of the Don't Punt Hour. We got the host, DeMornay Pierson-El, streaming in. You guys can join in, use the streams, use the Starter Human text line, Royals on the brick and mortar. So again, use the streams if you want to join in, or even Allo channel 961 if you got Allo cable. On the other side, we teased it. We're going to talk about this defensive side of the ball. We mentioned it. You got everybody but one, 9 out of the 10 on that defensive side of the ball. The entire front seven and the back end, pretty much that entire starting defense is a single digit. How surprised are you with it all to see the defense year two, again, being clearly the leaders of this team based on Matt Rule's whole philosophy of the toughest guys, the quote, true on true leaders that go through the grit, being the single digits?
It's not shocking at all. Not to say that, that there aren't guys over there, on the offensive side. I mean, some of the defensive guys just, their passions have been, a little bit louder on things. But I mean, he said it early on, just be good enough to where, the offense to where, you'll win us games and not necessarily put the defense in bad situations. He said, the defense is going to be, that they want to be out there, to win the games and whatnot. So, I mean, it's he's been talking that way, since probably spring ball. I mean, you had a lot of your starters on that defense that didn't even play in the spring game, which is, crazy. Not even a half, not even a quarter. So, I mean, early on, he said how he felt. He said what things are going to be, and his action has shown. So, I mean, I'm not surprised at all.
I'm not surprised. I'm excited. This makes me excited. I think if you're most Big Ten fans, you like good defense. You like some offense to go with it. You don't like to watch, Iowa football is a little extreme. You want some offense to go hand in hand with it. But certainly with this defense, I mean, this is a hell of a scouting report for anybody who's got to play Nebraska to figure out how are you going to attack these guys offensively. Because not only do we got, obviously, with the single digits, the leadership of this team seems to be with the defense. You look at last year's stats, makes sense. But now you're adding some real depth behind it as well, especially when you have guys like Nash and Ty deciding to come back. Now you can continue to get that depth. You feel good. You can rotate guys in and out. Where last year you can make an argument it's because of the turnovers or it's a lack of depth. But guys were certainly gassed at some points, especially second halves of games. Happens when you're turning the ball over a lot. But it gives me a lot of faith that this thing's going to be off and rolling. It's just the biggest thing. Do we start getting turnovers with it? Because I think that's probably safe. That's the next step for this defense, right? Is producing turnovers.
Most definitely.
How does that start to happen? How do you get to that point to where not only are you a good defense, you're a defense that can entirely flip a game around?
I think there's a couple things. You have a defensive coach coming from one of the best defensive rooms in the NFL, with a lot of guys that played and made things happen up in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
So allowing the kids to and examples. You got tremendous examples left and right of like, okay, this is how you can play a little bit in the gray to get things done. Two, I think this year the kids won't be thinking as much. Last year was kind of fun, exciting. We know before Cooper left, he put a lot of kids in maybe not favorable situations, but they did it for what was for the best of the team. Now those kids more so are in a position that they can really fully go out and express about. So now the thinking of, okay, well, I don't want to be wrong. I don't necessarily want to get yelled at. I don't want to look bad on film or whatnot. You kind of got, some credit built up from last year. You know what to expect. You know where to be at. You know what are the keys and whatnot. Now you can kind of, properly assess down distance and maybe play in a little bit more riskier situation and take chances. And I mean, you got a dominant front seven that's coming back that are going to wreak havoc. So I think teams are going to have to get the ball out fast. They struggle with the defense with all the different types of blitzes. So now it's just, okay, knowing that and kind of be in a comfortable, safe position, and then, taking that opportunity and actually being athletes and do what got you to having, a Division I scholarship.
Yeah, it's exciting. It certainly gives you the hope that we can finally be positive in the turnover margin, right? Get some pressure. You mentioned it. I'd imagine this front seven, whatever they decide to dial up, if they want to bring some pressure, feel pretty confident that they're going to be able to get there more often than not. And again, if you got those safeties, corners starting to feel comfortable, they'll take some chances. Maybe you get a few picks, and hopefully it took a while. Maybe in the year 2024, we can actually be positive in the turnover ratio. We didn't get news on Javen Wright, undisclosed, but you feel for him. He's gone through tears. He's gone through blood clot issues, and he is indefinitely out right now. We don't have an entire situation as to why, or hopefully it's nothing too bad. He said he will be okay, but currently without him as of now, indefinitely is the time frame. Any worries with Javen Wright, especially what he showed last year, finally being healthy? You can make the case he could have been one of these single-digit guys. I certainly think he's got the capability to be so. Without Javen Wright, how do you feel about how this hurts this defense? Because it certainly does. I mean, he was a phenomenal player for us last year.
Again, next man up though. I mean, that's something that they've been preaching about. So yeah, it's sad to, have that and run into that situation. But I mean, I feel like, on that side of the ball, they're going to be well prepared and they're too deep. So it's just, the production is going to come from somewhere. Somebody's got that step up. It's sad, but it's not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's like I said, I mean, injuries happen, lack of playing and lack of, execution and whatnot can thrust people into certain positions. This is kind of one of those things. I mean, you come here to play. That's a position that's, probably open more so than not. So, I mean, put your best foot forward and, go out and take what's yours.
Yeah, and maybe we'll see some of the guys that have been really highly praising, even young guys as Vincent Shavers. He might even get a knockout there at that position. They've been praising him a lot. I know he's young, but when you feel that good about the rest of the defense, being able to kind of lead, guide, make sure he knows what his role is for that particular play, maybe it works out. They've been praising him, but yeah, certainly one of those situations where you just kind of hurt and feel for Javen Wright the same way you do for Teddy Prohaska. Two guys that have stuck it out, but man, just injury after injury, they can't find a way to stay out there on the field after arguably both of those guys last season put together their best seasons yet. And really the secret recipe to those great seasons was they were just healthy. So hopefully, again, we know from Rule that he's going to be okay, but you just hope it's not one of those things that's lingering that just takes him out of football completely. We'll figure out more details as that comes, but we got a little bit of time left. Let's talk week 0. We got college football, week 0 games. I'll give you the lineup, and then we'll kind of dive into details which ones might be worth watching here as I try to figure out. So, week 0 games. You got number 10 Florida State. They got Georgia Tech. Jeff Sims' alma mater. Then Nebraska. Obviously, we mentioned it. Now Arizona State. Then you got Montana State at New Mexico. SMU at Nevada. Delaware State at Hawaii. Which one of those games is the best one to watch as far as week 0 goes? You only got the 4.
I would probably say Florida State, Georgia Tech, followed closely probably by Nevada and SMU. SMU has been pretty good for a while. Now that they're in a bigger conference, I think they're going to be able to show what they can kind of do. But I mean, you don't necessarily expect too much from Georgia Tech. I mean, Georgia Tech looked really good last year with just spreading out the ball and whatnot. So you expect an exciting game.
I'm gonna say Florida State, Georgia Tech for sure. Maybe Montana State, New Mexico, just because that feels like the closest game. Now it's interesting. You mentioned SMU, Nevada. What's the spread for that game?
Probably 6.
-27.
Ooh. What about the Delaware game?
That is the worst one out there. Can you take a wild swing at it? And this one's at Hawaii.
35.
Oh, close. 38. They got -38 odds on that one. And then obviously the next one up would be, I mentioned it, you got SMU -27 at Nevada. And then it goes Florida State. They're favored by 11.5 versus Georgia Tech.
That's gonna be a good game. I think Florida State is gonna pull it off, probably start pulling away probably late second quarter or going into the third. But Georgia Tech on film last year, they were rolling offensively, and the defense wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch because this one, we've been there. Dublin. That is that Florida State versus Georgia Tech game. I believe it might even be the same stadium we played in, Viva Stadium, Dublin. That one's going to be your obviously noon kickoff Saturday. It's going to be interesting. I'd imagine you're not going to see the crazy onside kick over there in Dublin like we pulled off, but Florida State versus Georgia Tech might be nice to watch some different football up there in Dublin. That's for the week 0 games. I don't really see any possible upsets. Georgia Tech, do you give them any chance they can pull it off?
No.
An actual upset?
No.
You got Nevada maybe giving a scare to SMU.
Potentially
Purdy in that game if the quarterback situation doesn't look great.
Potentially. West Coast, Nevada has had players, sneaky here and there. I wouldn't say that they're a terrible, university or whatnot. They're fine. It's just small. That's what I said. I think that's a good comp for SMU. I think SMU is going to blow them out, but
yeah, well, they're favored to -27. But if you like it, hey, that's plus $1,500 if you take the money line on Nevada. We don't promote sports gambling here, unless you go down to Warhorse Casino. But that is currently the odds right there. Week 0, I mean, you're typically kind of going to get these games. On the other side, we'll talk about actual week 1 games, the ones that are certainly going to pop off college football. There's a certain game with LSU that's certainly going to draw a lot of eyes to it. So don't go anywhere. That's kind of the week 0 lineup. We'll talk about some of the week 1s. If we got time for it, some NFL QBs as well. So don't go anywhere. Don't Punt Hour with the morning Pierson-El. We'll talk to you guys in just a little bit.
Stevens & Smith Construction is a full-service, employee-owned concrete company that specializes in residential and commercial foundations and flat work. They've been a leader in the concrete industry since 1971, with nearly 250 employees combining for more than 2,000 years of service. With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, and Kansas City, they're united in quality, integrity, and professionalism to create excellence in construction. Learn more today at stevensandsmith.com.
Announcing Acres' end of summer sales event. Acres has dropped its prices on select late model John Deere tractors, combines, and corn heads. Act now and upgrade your equipment before harvest season. Trade in your old equipment today and get unbelievable discounts that could save you over $100,000. With great financing options and our A-plus support, there's no better time to buy. Visit your local Acres store or see the huge savings at acres.com. That's AKRS.com to see the best prices in the nation.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation right now at appliedconnective.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186. Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment of the Don't Punt Hour. We're going to go quick here as we got a couple more things to talk about it. And if we have time, I'll talk about a couple of receivers, in particular CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Ayuk, who still have yet to sign their contracts. I can't tell you what the stall is, why those things are coming to a halt, but sure, there's a lot of fantasy owners sweating out there. So if we get to it, we'll talk about it. But good morning, Pierson-El. Week 1, college football, not week 0. What is the games that you're penciled in that are going to be must-watch TV outside of Nebraska, UTEP? As a Husker fan, that's a given. Give me the other ones.
Week 1.
Week 1, and I'll give you the obvious one. You got to tune in. It's the only game on Sunday. You're going to get USC LSU.
Here we go with this USC. I think USC gonna get smacked. I'm not high on them.
Well, that's why I think it's worth the watch, though, because even if you think they're going to get smacked, they're ranked 23 in the country. What does that look like if you don't believe they belong to a team who's, I would argue LSU looks like they belong more firmly at 13 than USC at 23. Could be smacking on live television and set the stage for USC in the Big Ten.
I guess it would be a good thing, but like I said, I'm not too hyped about SC. SC gonna have to show some things, and what I mean by that is after their 5th game, everybody's fine and dandy in the first quarter, of football. All your Ferraris are running nice and well. It's when your Ferraris turn into a Honda Accord in the middle of the season. Are they still?
Hey, Hondas are reliable. You can maybe throw Jeep in there. Jeep, that's a better analogy. Don't do that to the Honda. Come on, man. Honda Accord drive for years. I don't want to hear it.
You get what I'm saying. Week 1, I mean, Florida, Miami. I think that could be
one. Yep.
I think that could be a good one. I think Miami has some keys. Some key pieces there. You expect them to be a lot better than where they were last year. They were building. Florida, we don't exactly know what Florida, but
we know they got a brutal schedule, which is why this is interesting. This might be one of their quote unquote easier games, which is insane for Florida. So that's why I think that's definitely one to circle, because if they're going to have any signs of life, it's got to start early, because they are probably the worst. I shouldn't say the worst. The toughest schedule out there for college football heading into this year.
Clemson versus Georgia. That's always a good one. I mean, you got two ranked opponents. I mean, Clemson might, have that only one loss for the rest, the rest of the year. Maybe we'll see. Or Penn State, West Virginia. For whatever reason, there's a rivalry there.
Yeah.
They're always good games. Like it's not bad. It's a lot of tension for whatever reason. I don't know I don't know why, but
I don't know. That'd be a great rival series to do a deep dive on how that one sparked. I'll throw one more at you. This one, I feel like Notre Dame is going to run away with it pretty convincingly, but you got number 7 Notre Dame versus number 20 Texas A&M. That is I believe the last ranked.
Who's the head coach down in A&M?
Down in A&M right now?
Because Jimbo's gone, correct?
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know if Notre Dame can, manage that fight.
They got Mike Elko is now the current head coach for A&M.
So that's a good game to watch. Just because honestly, you really don't know exactly from both teams. If Notre Dame pulls it out, that could be one of those stat packing schedules for later on in the season. Because A&M typically does pretty all right.
Yep, and
that's a good one.
Mike Elko, he was down with Duke before. He was with A&M, went to Duke, and now back at A&M. Took Duke, gave him a 16-9 record with back-to-back bowl wins. So, I mean, you might not think that's crazy, but to do that down at Duke, that's certainly something to rival, to really have any success in the football world when you're known for basketball. So that one could be interesting. I'd circle it. Obviously, you got 2 ranked opponents, so it's certainly going to matter in the AP polls. I think those are really the week 1 games to watch. You get a lot of those non-con games. Certainly, you're not going to pick. I think Penn State's got like 4 of them or something like that. Probably not one you want to circle, but we got a little bit of time. Let's talk about it. CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk. A lot of people are drafting fantasy football. I got both those guys on my squad. What's going on? Can these guys get the deal signed? There's holdouts. Maybe Ayuk still goes to the Steelers if they keep saying it's
I say CeeDee Lamb more so than Ayuk, just because of the want and for them to be at those perspective places is different. Not to say that the 49ers don't need Ayuk, but they don't necessarily need him like how the Cowboys need CD. So I would expect CD's deal to probably get a little bit more closer. I know they said the upfront or guarantee money wanted, to be a little bit different. So you could see, I could see his getting done before Ayuk's. Ayuk, I mean, you just don't know. Like it's a love triangle between them, the 49ers, and whoever else wants Ayuk. So that's one I'm more concerned about. Just because nobody's really saying anything. The needle's not really moving. And like I said, right.
Cryptic tweets out of those guys, which is interesting. You just got guys like CeeDee Lamb quote tweeting LOL to anytime Jones makes statements about the trade. It's a bizarre world we live in where those are kind of the notes we get.
Yeah. So I mean, it like I said with Ayuk, I'm not too sure. Like I said, I've seen trades happen literally the week before the season starts. So that's something to keep an eye on because, clearly it's still on the table. It's not off the table.
Mm-hmm.
But those people who have CD, I wouldn't be concerned, honestly, because Jerry at some point in time, he's gonna get it done.
Yeah, and CeeDee Lamb just came off of his most productive season yet. And that's saying a lot because the seasons before were extremely productive as well. So to have that last year, certainly I feel like they're going to figure out a way to get the deal done. I mean, if they have aspirations, they certainly need him on that roster. He's just a difference maker.
I think
he's a problem.
I think the deal that they had on the table was like $33 a year, which I think will put him second right behind Jefferson. Like I said, it was just more so ironing out the guaranteed and front money on the front end of things. So, like I said, I expect that deal honestly to get pieced together or whatnot, because he didn't say no to the deal. He just wanted something, rearranged in the paperwork. Maybe that may be a little bit more guaranteed money or guaranteed money spread out through, the first 2-3 years of it. So,
yeah, and it makes sense, right? I mean, he's got the leverage. They need him if they want to really take a shot at a Super Bowl this year. So, like, the Ayuk thing's interesting. I think he probably will be a Steeler. People keep mentioning they're matching salary. You can tell me this because I know you agree with me. It's a lot different tax-wise in California than it is if you go play for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Absolutely. It's a huge break. It's a huge break. Again, you get taxed in every state that you play in. So Pittsburgh taxes is a little bit more helpful to you than California. You hate playing in California, you hate playing in New York, you hate playing in Boston. Those are the places like you do not like to play at all. But again, I mean, with the Ayuk thing, even if he gets traded, he has to agree to it. So if he doesn't agree to it, he's not going nowhere. They can want to move him as much as he wants to, but it's him that gives the final say so on I'll go or no, I won't go.
Yeah, and that's where I'm glad we brought this up, because if you did draft those guys, I won't sweat it out. These guys are going to be on a roster performing. I don't think we're going to see any crazy holdouts. They got the leverage. I think that's why these things are dragging out, milking out the best possible deal while the clock's ticking, kind of putting pressure on the front office to pay them handsomely for this upcoming season. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Don't go anywhere. We got the second former Husker up next. What's brewing chance of Brewington? We'll keep it rolling here on Talk Ticket weeknights. Shout out to Marty Pierson-El. We'll do it again tomorrow.